Alright, so what we're going to do today we're going to go to our Picassa and we're going to edit some of the pictures that are in the Picassa already and make them ready to put them into my albums and eventually put in the slideshows. So I go to my Picassa and you see here that I have 5 different albums in my Picassa right now. I'll go to my Dropbox, which is where I put pictures that come directly from my phone or from my camera. The Dropbox is the initial place that all of the photos go into. I'll choose one of my artworks here. Then I'll go up to Actions, because this artwork hasn't been modified yet from my picture that I've taken. And you see the picture has a black piece of paper in the back of it when I take the photo. I'll go to Actions and I'll go down to Edit in Creative Kit. Now the Creative Kit in Picassa is a very usable tool. When my picture comes up, I'm able to first of all crop it, I can rotate it, I can change the exposure, I can change and modify the colors, I can sharpen and resize. I always start out with cropping. It gives me my different areas and I just go ahead and make it an appropriate size. Now you have to do this if you're setting up your pictures for your website or for slideshows so that your pictures take up the maximum amount of space that you have within your slideshows. And I'll go ahead and apply it. Now you see that my picture is going to be presented in my slideshows with a nice little black border around the outside. But it's not quite black, it's kind of gray in some areas, and certainly my camera didn't take a good job or do a good job of taking the picture. So I'm going to have to change the exposure. The exposure area gives you 3 or 4 things here to change. One is the exposure, then you can change the highlights, the shadows, and the contrast. The white boxes will give you a starting point. Well, first of all, this picture is overexposed. So what I do is I click down on it, hold and click the white box, and I can slide that down to change that. That made a big difference. The highlights I leave until after I do the shadows. So I'll do the shadows next. And you'll notice that my background now that was gray now is completely black and all of my colors have been highlighted. Now I'll go to my highlights and drag in some lighter areas. Not too much, about right there. And if I have any contrast that needs to be changed, I can toggle that with the white box. That looks pretty good. I'll go ahead and apply that. As a general rule, I don't do too much with colors and sharpening and resize. I find that that exposure really changes it to what I want. So what I do is I go up to save the album. And once I saved that album, I want to replace it. Or sometimes you just want to save it as a new copy, that's fine too. So now it sends me back to my new picture that I still have in my Dropbox. I need to move that to a new album. So I go again up to my Actions area and I go to Move to Another Album. Tell them I want to move the photo. And this gives me an option of making a new album and giving it a title to put this in, or put it in an album that I already have. I'm going to choose an album that I already have. These are all of my albums that I have available. I'm going to go to my Picasso portrait. As you can see, it's public on the web. It shows you that there. select the album. And if you go to the end of the album, now I have a new picture that's in my album. Now you'll notice these other pictures in the album, they have different captions on the bottom. These ones don't have captions yet. So what I would do to put that caption in is just click on that picture, go down to add a caption. I can add that caption at the bottom, just type that in and then save caption, and that caption will be saved. So that's how you take a picture right from your Dropbox, which is right from your camera, edit it, and go ahead and put it in one of your albums to put on your website.